Last year I spent one of the most amazing weeks of my life exploring Norway in my car. If you haven't seen video series from that trip, make sure you watch it. But if you watched it already and you're wondering how much does it cost and which way did we go? Well, this video is certainly for you, because in the next couple of minutes I'm going to go through all of that information. So grab your notebooks and pay attention. I've started my journey in UK, but I know many of you might live in other countries, so I thought it's probably the best to start from the ferry from Denmark to Norway. So we took ferry from Hirtshals in Denmark to Kristiansand at Norway. You have a choice to take the crossing on board of slower ferry, which takes over 3 hours, or catamaran, which shortens the trip to about 2 hours 20 minutes. It's slightly more expensive, but it saves you some time, so it's your choice. I paid 136 euros for the crossing, which unfortunately was extremely rough. The alternative would be to drive through Sweden, the road which I took on the way back. So if you want to hear more about it, stick around. I'm going to provide a summary of all of the costs towards the end of the video too. That night we stayed at Ansgar Summer Hotel at Kristiansand. I paid £99, so about 115 euros for a double room based on 1 occupant. All other hotels will be priced based on 2 occupants. Next morning we set off from Kristiansand and started our drive towards Stavanger via E39, one of not many motorways in Norway. Majority of the roads at Norway are just single lane in each direction due to relatively low population density outside of bigger cities. After a quick stop at the end of the road, we turned left towards the coast, still following E39, which now became a local road. We then diverted to scenic route number FV44 and then Anna Sira Vein, which turned to be an amazing road. Here we stopped for some food and drone shots before continuing our journey. At this point we already knew that this country looks amazing, but we didn't know at this point that there were so many better views waiting for us. Next, as we were rushed by our schedule, we took road 501 to go back to E39. We also managed to get lost a bit, and we had to drive on a non-tarmac surface for a couple of kilometers, but even that wasn't too bumpy. Finally, we arrived at Stavanger, where I picked up my mate. We then drove through the longest underwater tunnel in the world, called Ryfast Tunnel. It's 14.4 kilometers long, and at that point it was the longest tunnel I've ever been in. After the tunnel, we took road 13 to ferry port at Hjemland. All the ferries at Norway were reasonably priced, usually between 5 to 10 euros, and some of them were free of charge. I have to say it was very useful to have a road tool device, so we didn't have to pay for anything and it was automatically charged to our accounts. The ferry took us to Nesvika, from which we continued to drive on road number 13. And it was on that road where we found a thick bridge, where I decided to stop for a bit of filming. You have to admit, it was worth it. Then we followed the road up to turn into road 517, and then we turned right towards road 520, which took us to Sauda. On our way we saw this massive waterfall, and then we found this another beautiful spot where I stopped for a bit of filming. Finally, we arrived at Soda Fjord Hotel. The hotel was in the original condition and it was 140 years old, all made from wood. The night cost us an equivalent of £104. That day we covered 274 miles. Next day we set off from Sauda and headed towards Hagafoss. We drove through an amazing canyon and continued to follow road 520 via a beautiful valley where we found this great stop. The road was absolutely stunning and we had plenty of fun on it. The next stop was an amazing viewpoint. We started climbing up this narrow road to one of the most amazing viewpoints I've ever seen. The scenery over there was breathtaking. This view will stay in my head forever. Soon after we crossed the dam and we followed road number 520, which turned out to be one of the most scenic drives I've ever experienced. And when the terrain finally opened again, we found another epic viewpoint. We followed road 520 for another few kilometers before getting to road number E134. We stayed on that road for only 2 minutes before we took another detour through quite narrow mountain pass. However, it was definitely worth it. The views from the top were fantastic, definitely better to do than staying in a tunnel. After experiencing this twisty, narrow and very beautiful pass, we rejoined E134. After a few minutes we took turn right into road number 13, which took us to magnificent Lattefossen waterfall. After the waterfalls we followed road 13. From the road we were able to observe Bauerbreen glacier in the distance. We were surrounded by dozens if not hundreds of waterfalls. Next we're driving past Kinsarvik, Hardanger Bridge and Eidfjord, when you can very often observe large cruise ships. After that we followed road number 7, Hagafoss Road, where we stopped for a moment. We decided to stop again for a moment where we were surrounded by thousands of scattered boulders, and finally we managed to get to our hotel. That night cost us an equivalent of 71 British pounds. Next morning we followed road 50 to meet with the rest of the group who stayed in a different hotel. We followed road 50 where again we could see some spectacular waterfalls around us. We drove through the tunnel, after which we started descent towards another fjord. Next on our route was apparently the best viewpoint in whole Norway, the Stegastein lookout. As you can see, it's difficult to argue with that statement. But it was time to move on. We continued going up the road called Bjorgavegen. This is where some of us really enjoyed the drive. Interestingly, we were right above another very long tunnel which cut through these mountains. We decided to stop next to the road to take in some of these beautiful views and film Flottene waterfall. From over there we were driving down again towards Aurland. Then we travelled through the longest tunnel in Norway, measuring over 24 kilometers. At that point we came back to the road we've been on 2 hours earlier and continued to travel on road E16 to Vinje, surrounded by majestic waterfalls. At Vinje we took a right turn to road number 13. We got to Hellesvingane towards next ferry crossing at Vangsnes. On our way we stopped at the top of Vinje to Vangsnes Road. After we left the ferry we continued to travel on road 13 until we got to another breathtaking viewpoint. From over there we arrived at our next overnight stop at Flatheim. This was rather unusual experience as we stayed in the house hand-built by the owner. We paid 111 British pounds for that night. Interestingly, in many of those rural places, if you are asked if you want a meal, that means whatever they serve to you. Simply, there is no choice. The following day we followed a beautiful scenic road, unfortunately in a rain. The rain followed us through the day, which was pretty disappointing, especially when we arrived at Geiranger Trollstigen scenic route number 63. On our way we arrived at Ornesvingen viewpoint with really impressive view. It was a shame we couldn't enjoy it in the sun. Next we catched a ferry from Elsdal to Linge. At this point we had to take a detour via route 650 as further up road 63 the Trollstigen was closed. Luckily that road also offered some decent views. Finally we arrived at Andalsnes, where we were staying overnight, but we had one more attraction before going to bed. Romsdalen Gondola cost an equivalent of about £33 for a round trip, but it's worth every penny. The views from the top and from the gondola were spectacular. We stayed at Freaks Express Hotel that night. It wasn't cheap at £151, but it was very comfortable. Next day, we started our day with another ferry crossing from Afarnes to Solsnes, from where we followed Road 64 north. Luckily, that day we managed to avoid the rain. After about hour and a bit, we arrived at the highlight of the whole trip, the Atlantic Road. It's an amazing 8-kilometer long piece of tarmac, jumping from island to island. The road was open in 1989 and till today it's a massive tourist attraction. After that, we followed Road 64 and then 70 to another big bridge, the name of I won't even try to pronounce. Then we turned into E39 going north towards Trondheim, where we stayed overnight in a hotel called Scandic Hell, right next to the airport. That night cost us £100, but it was really worth it. It was a very high Euro standard with amazing selection of food. Next day it was a long one. We followed Road E6, which like a spine of Norway, it's the only main road going up through the middle of the country. Finally, after many hours, first longest stop at Norge. From here, we still had 500 kilometers north before we will get to our final destination. Towards the end of the day, we decided to make a small detour, which added about 30 minutes to our trip, but at least we enjoyed some twisty side roads and had a great crossing from Levang to Lesna. It was definitely worth doing after a rather boring day at Main Road. We finally got to Mo and Rana, where we stayed overnight at Scandic Meyer Garden Hotel. That hotel cost us an equivalent of £111. We could definitely feel that we were close to the Arctic Circle as it didn't get dark until after 11 PM. Next morning, after a short 30-minute drive, we finally reached our final destination. After about an hour and a half, we said goodbye to the rest of the group, as in order to make up a day on our way back, so I could also go to the Nürburgring, we pushed on 3 hours further south than the rest of the group. That night we stopped at Gullevåg camping at Nyberg. We only paid £50 for that night, although it wasn't luxurious, but it was all we needed that night. Next day we had to get up really early and set off about 4:30 to get to Oslo to drop off my mate at the airport. I continued on my own towards the Copenhagen and Øresund bridge. The crossing charge was about €38. Soon after, I had to cross the Great Belt Bridge with a charge of €48. At this point, I realized that traveling by ferry was probably more sensible to do. I stopped in Denmark in a cheap hotel, which costed about £61. Next day, it was time for the Nürburgring. Unfortunately, as you probably know by now, the truck closed down before I managed to get on it and do any laps due to fatal accident. That night I'd stayed in one of the local homes at Gudrun Wagner for a very low £33. Next day it was time to get back home. So after spending another £130 for a tunnel crossing, I was back on UK soil. In total I covered 4,850 miles, which is about 7,800 kilometers in 12 days. So let's summarize all the costs. I had to purchase train tickets to get out and get into UK. That was £271. The next spend was ferry from Denmark to Norway, and that was £117. Then the toll roads, that actually totaled up at £238. The second biggest cost was the hotels at £935. In general, they were between £50 and £150 a day. The single biggest cost was obviously the fuel. It did cost me about £1,100, but bear in mind this is the cost of me getting to Nürburgring as well, and then back to home to UK. Then there was a food, and obviously it's very difficult to quantify how much the food would cost you. I would estimate that if you want to eat in the restaurants, you need to spend between £25 to £35, or instead you can go to a local shop, get yourself a pack of ham, olives, tomatoes, cheese, and have a nice meal in your room for probably around £10 to £13. So overall, I spent about £3,200 during those 12 days. Yes, I know, that's a lot, but that includes my trip to Nürburgring, so an extra hotel, an extra 200 miles, so that cost could have been avoided. But even without that, it would still be close to £3,000. Was it worth it? Absolutely yes. Norway was amazing, and I will remember it for all my life. Will I ever go back? Yes. So if you're planning your trip and you have any questions, please drop a comment and I will try to respond to you as soon as possible. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure you give it a like, subscribe to my channel, and I see you shortly in the next one. Thank you for watching. Goodbye. Do widzenia.